Buirosa.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Kanja, you've made reference to the Constitution that was promulgated in 2010, and that is the supreme law of this land. Article 37 of this Constitution, Mr. Kanja, provides that every person has the right to peacefully and unharmed to assemble, to demonstrate, to picket, and to present their petition to public authorities. Mr. Kanja, the 6th schedule of the National Police Service Act provides that a police officer shall always attempt to use nonviolent means first, and force may only be employed when nonviolent means are ineffective or without any promise of achieving intended results. It also stipulates that the force used shall be proportional to the objective to be achieved, shall be proportional to the seriousness of the offense, and shall be proportional to the resistance of the person against whom it is being used. The recent demonstrations that the country has experienced or witnessed, commonly known as the Gen Z demonstrations, is reported to have left over 60 people dead, scores of others injured, and a number of people abducted. Mr. Kanja, it is also reported that most of those dead people were unharmed and only had telephone sets in their hands. And many of them are also reported to have been shot from, on their backs. In line with the guidelines that I've just read, Mr. Kanja, do you think the police service has complied or has been complying to the provisions, especially when managing protests? Number 2, in your opinion, were there any security gaps in the management of such protests? And if in your consideration there was, what interventions would you consider in future if you do get confirmed to this position? Mr. Kanja, still on those demonstrations, on the 25th of June 2024, the parliamentary premise was invaded by protesters. Why was the police service not able to prevent the invasion, as Parliament is one of the strategic national state installations? And 2, and the last one, what is the assurance and the confidence of the police service to ensure security and safety of Parliament in case of any other security threat or emergency? I thank you, co-chairs.
So you can respond to the 3, maybe 2 minutes each.
Thank you, co-chairs. Thank you, members. Let me start with the last one from Honorable Osabuyu. It is very, very true that the Constitution of Kenya, Article 37, has given the people of Kenya the right to protest, the right to picket, to demonstrate, and to deliver and hand over petitions to public offices or public officers. However, I must also hasten to say that where one's right ends, another right begins. So now, I would wish to say that there is no country that can never allow extrajudicial killing. extrajudicial killing is illegal if it ever happens. And let me also say this, that the police officers, in the training of the police officers, a training that I have personally attended to in various capacities, the training is to ensure that a police officer is always in the forefront in the defense of the rights and freedoms of the people through the functions provided by the Police Act. They are well trained on what to do in terms of the management of demonstrations. Public Order Act guides on matters demonstration. If there is excessive use of force by an officer, we have the oversight bodies. We have IPOA. We have the ODPP. And even now, as we speak, I know there are several investigations that are ongoing in relation to what happened during the demonstrations. There's a clear demonstration that any use of excessive force cannot be around, and it cannot go unpunished. And that's the reason why those bodies have also come on board to address those matters. Number two, if approved and appointed as the IG, the IG through the Internal Affairs Unit can also be able to order investigations to look into those very serious allegations of the violations of the rights of the people. But what I want to say to the honorable member is that if approved to be the IG of the National Police Service, I will ensure that the service performs its duties within the frameworks of the law. Within the frameworks of the law, so that everybody enjoys those rights. The security of Parliament. Parliament is one of the key bodies established by our Constitution. And if approved and appointed IG, this is an area that we cannot allow anyone to come around joking around with this Parliament. So for me, I will do whatever it takes to ensure that this Parliament is safe and secure as the IG. On matters security gaps, yes, there are gaps, and maybe let me start by saying that I must first of all appreciate the police officers for having operated under difficult circumstances, because our security, the security of the state, was in jeopardy, because the kind of demonstrations that we had, they had actually engulfed almost the entire country, overstretching the resources that are at our disposal. And that's the reason why, going forward, we still need to invest a lot in terms of ensuring that our officers are well trained. We continue training, continue getting the better equipment to manage some of these things. Training, as I said from the word go, is an area that I would like to run away with, because I do believe that trained officers is actually the direction to go, and we need to have a lot of investment in that direction. Then on matters, former AG had issues, that is, had issued the National Police Service on matters promotion. Well, if approved.
Just a minute, before you go there, on the 25th, the day not to remember, as the Speaker rightfully put it, the reports are when Parliament was invaded, and of course the City Hall was actually even banned, you didn't have water, cannons, or water, even actually fire extinguisher, fire engines. Maybe, and I know, because you were still, that day you were the DIG, and of course you were in thick of things, trying to quell the demonstrations. Will you tell the country and us and these members, it is an issue that of course there was demonstration even before, that was actually the second day. How comes that such thing could happen and you could not even have the basic fire engines or water even to put off the fire? Was it laxity? Was it lack of preparedness on your part as a police service?
Chair, co-chair, on the part of the police service, who are prepared, fully prepared, because we had actually faced similar issues the previous days. We were fully prepared, and despite the fact that you know, the multitudes of the people who turned up, they were huge. The entire roads from all the way from Thika Road, they were actually blocked. Kiabu Road was blocked. The Globe Roundabout was actually blocked, such that even for the water cannons to get water was also a challenge, because first of all you must do the clearance and then you'll be able to access. But what I would like to hasten to say is that from there are better preparations, and also the issue of the multi-agency support systems are there, and everybody is working for the benefit of everybody. Water is really available, and we say that we are set for that. Thank you, Chair.
Really running?
Okay, on matters, there were matters that were raised about the former IG having issues with the National Police Service Commission on matters promotion. If I'm approved and appointed as the IG, being the head of the National Police Service, and also being a commissioner of the National Police Service Commission, together with the DIGs and the DCI, I think we just need to table what we have before the commission, because we are also members of that commission as commissioners. And then everything is discussed on the table and agreed. So I don't think we are going to have any problem going forward on those issues. Thank you, Chair. And then matters Boni Forest, Lamu, Mazabit, Garissa. I want to assure the honorable member that even as we speak now, I'm aware that we have heavy deployments. Highly trained officers are on deployment in the northeastern region, along the borders, all the way down to Boni, starting from border post 1 up to border post number 27 in the Lamu area. We have got heavy deployments inside the Boni forest, and we will continue to do so, and continue even to facilitate those deployments so that they can be able to enhance their capabilities. So the people of Mazabit, the other day we had a very serious operation there, when it had become very difficult because of the proliferation of small arms and lighter weapons in that area. I was the commander GSU and he headed that operation. Right now, Marsabit is quiet. So I want to assure the people from all those areas that if appointed and approved and appointed IG, I will continue in that trajectory and even continue to invest more in those areas to ensure that our people are safe and secure. Thank you, Chair. On the Haiti question, yes, we have on the Haiti question, we have deployment there. We have already deployed around 600 officers.
A point of order, Chair. Chair, that matter, the nominee is dealing with is a very serious matter. I think he should tell us how he proposes to deal with it. Because I can tell you, Chair, on 21st July last year, people not uniformed went into Kisumu in the night, and you saw the number of people they killed. All male persons they pulled from houses in Nyalenda and Nyamasaria were all shot, either in the head, the heart, or in their genital areas. And on the police service that without the uniform, we cannot know who they are. So the manner in which the police should be dressed while in operation or action is something we need to hear specifically from you, how you want to address it.
Maybe you expound on that.
Thank you very much, co-chairs and members. It is true, the concern is very valid. The concern is very valid. They've approved and appointed the IG. Now, I will be the chair of the Joint Service Board, whereby the DIGs, the two DIGs, the DCI are incorporated. And as we are saying, we want an accountable police service. So mine is to ensure that even when we are going for a deployment, whatever kind of deployment, be it to control those kind of demonstrations, be it other operations, the necessary uniforms that are supposed to be worn will have to be put on. Will have to be put on. So that is my stand on that. That we rely on those who are not putting on the correct attires in the service delivery. Thank you, Chair.
You still answering the other questions?
Yes, we still have.
Can you summarize?
There was a question that was asked by Mheshimiwa Protas.
Yeah.
It was about Chakahora. Let me say this, that on matters Chakahora, first of all, it was very, very unfortunate that we lost so many Kenyans, so many people down there. Very, very unfortunate, actually, for all of us that happened. But I'm also happy and happy to note that the head of state, our president, went ahead and appointed a task force that was supposed to look at all those issues so that we put a stop on these kind of happenings. And the task force the other day submitted its report to the president. And that report is being worked on, whereby there were a number of recommendations, including having a commission that can be able to, a religious affairs commission, formulation of policies that can be able to, to regulate. Now, the National Police Service will also come in and work with everybody, including such commissions, so that anything near Chakahora will never happen again. Thank you, Chair. There was also another question from Senator.
Huh?
There was also another question from Senator Leku.
Oh, Sekis, okay.
That was
Just
about
1 minute only.
I'm going to spend
Kindly.
even less than a minute. disconnect between the DCI, KPS, and the APS. Let me say this. First of all, as far as I'm concerned, there is no disconnect. The services have actually been working very well. And we are going to continue to enhance that. There could be some few structural, challenges here and there, but we will continue working to, bringing the services closer, because each service is supposed to support the other service. That is how we are supposed, all of us, to work. And in fact, we have been working in that direction. And I believe if approved and appointed IG, I will enhance that direction. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, Mburu.
Chair, before you move to Mburu, my questions on understaffing in nasal areas and border areas has not been answered, and also issue of human trafficking along those particular borders.
On the human trafficking,
Yeah.
I've indicated that we are going to deal with the issues of overstayed officers. We are going to enhance intelligence collection and work together with the providers of the intelligence collection, including the NIS and the DCI and everybody else, so that we can be able to tame that menace. On the understaffing in those areas, it is true, I did indicate from the word go that I'm ready and willing, if approved and appointed the IG, to work with the leadership of all those areas, so that, the leadership and the people, so that if a decision is made that we increase the number of NPLs to those local areas, because of the kind of knowledge they have on their local areas, then I think those are some of the undertakings that are really possible.
Thank you. Mburu Chelule, and then Sigei and Hussein. Now we are using our powers. We have increased to 4.
To assist my co-chair, kindly members, is already 1:10. Can we restrict ourselves to a maximum 2 questions, please, so that we can accommodate?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. I think I'll just do
now
one.
we'll be having 2 men here, Kaluma and yeah. So Kaluma, you are a senior counsel. Relax. I love who you. So Mburu.
Thank you, Co-Chair. Mine is just one question. Mr. Kanja, I come from a constituency where community policing used to work very well, where members of the public were able to share information with the police, and of course, we saw situations where crimes were prevented. And of course, within the National Police Service Act, there is that provision of establishment of the committees within the sub-counties, going all the way to locations. But according to the Maraga report, there has been lack of commitment from the National Police Service on the issue of community policing. If you are given this opportunity, what steps would you take to ensure that you go as per the National Police Service Act, where you establish the committees that will be able to help you? And I believe, even as you are answering the question of Shakahola, if this had been established, it would have been easy to gather intelligence, because we are talking about people who are being driven into the forest, and nobody actually noticed that people are going in and not coming out. But with the establishment of the community policing, that would have been thwarted. How would you do it differently moving forward, so that you're able to establish these committees to help you in gathering intelligence? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
It was me. It's me.
Thank you, Chairs.
Chair, asante kwa kunipatia nafasi. Niulize swali ambaye inahusu wananchi wa Kenya. Chair, nimefurahi kupata hii nafasi. Bwana Kanja, naelewa sana vile umefanya kazi ya security katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Unaelewa kwamba kuna mauaji mengi sana ambayo imefanyika katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Na mauaji ambayo imefanya ni ile inalenga mtoto msichana na kina mama. Unaelewa kwamba uwaji ya kina mama, especially wale wanauawa na wazee wao ama mabwana zao ama relatives wao, imeenda juu. Ninajua utajibu kusema watu wahusika watashikwa, lakini kando na kushikwa, ni nini ingine uko nayo tofauti katika mkakati yako kuhakikisha kwamba hizi shida imepunguka kule nyumbani? Hii mambo ambayo ninakueleza umekuwa ukisikia, umekuwa ukiona kwa makazi zetu kwamba wazee wanaamka tu asubuhi ama usiku, wanashika panga, wanakata kina mama. Kina mama wanaumia sana kwa mkono ya wale mabwana wao ambaye sijui ni shida gani wako nayo. Kwa hivyo wewe leo ukipatiwa kazi na National Assembly yetu, wewe ni mkakati gani utafanya tofauti pia, kama vile nimesikia wengine wakisema, ni nini utafanya kando na kushika muhusika? Ni nini unafikiria unaweza fanya kureduce ama kupunguza shida ambayo imetupata nyumbani? Nimefurahi sana kwa swali ambayo umejibu kwamba mambo ya ufisadi ni mambo ambayo inatuhusu sisi wote kama wananchi wa Kenya, kama watumishi wa Mungu, kama viongozi kama sisi. Umesema utafanya mpango ya kuhakikisha kwamba elimu imefika kule nyumbani kuhusu mambo ya ufisadi. Hii mambo ya kina mama na watoto kuuawa, ni nini utafanya? Pili, sijui kama unaelewa kwamba zamani bangi na pombe haramu ilikuwa ikifanyika, biashara ilikuwa ikifanyika nchini. Lakini wakati huu tunapoongea, bangi zinasungushwa katika village, inauzwa, mambo ya pombe haramu inaendelea, na mara nyingi pia maofisa wako wanatajwa kwa biashara ya bangi, kwa biashara ya pombe. Asante sana.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Weta.
Yeah, thank you, chairs, the co-chairs.
Just before you proceed, don't ask a question that has already been asked in the interest of time. Please.
Yes, yes. Number one is the issue of welfare, police housing, and logistics. Mr. Nominee, especially where I come from, I was really shocked to see police officers sleeping in the open area, you know, with just mattresses but nowhere to spend on. They have no houses at all. It is really desperate situations in some of the areas we have gone. A place called Arabia sub-county in my constituency, I was going around just 2 weeks ago, and it was really unfortunate that officers of higher ranks were spending, you know, outside in the cold with only mattresses. Number two, the other thing I realized is that I have witnessed an OCBD using, you know, public transport. They have no vehicles at all. That is about the welfare of the police. Number two is the issue of roadblocks. According to Maraga indicated that roadblocks are used as toll stations where police collect bribes. You know, whenever they just want to, you know, get money, they just go put a roadblock to go and collect funds, to go and collect bribes, instead of using other ways of, you know, combating criminals. That is the way they normally do. According to Maraga, his suggestion was that mobile roadblocks can work, can do very well, especially where there are issues. Number three is the issue of gazetted stations or posts.
We had agreed maximum 2 questions.
No, these are simple questions.
Okay, that's
gazetted,
your last.
They are gazetted stations or posts that has not been operationalized for the last 3-4 years, and especially where the insecurity areas. The other issue is the issue of NBRs. NBRs are really doing a good job, especially in our areas.
And NPR had been addressed.
Yeah, but
we had agreed we are
you
not
know what they
it.
get is 5,000 Kenya shillings. 5,000 cannot do much, and they are killed like any other police station. Unfortunately, they are not. You know, they have no insurance. They have no pay. They have no. You know, they have no retirement baggage. What plans do you have in changing their lives? Number three, which is, Nini, I think it's a quick one, is the issue of the old way of doing, you know, operations, especially when there are incidents. Just a few days ago, there was an incident in my constituency. Unfortunately, instead of, you know, doing and intelligence-led operations, they just go, you know, into the houses, get people, harass people. What are the new and you know, modern ways of operation of carrying out operations instead of, you know, just haphazard way of carrying out operations? Thank you.
Chairman, Chairman, I will ask two questions. Mr. Kanja, thank you very much for the response. I want to start, Mr. Chairman, by saying I am one of the Kenyans who are very impressed with the first press conference to update the nation on what was going on. And you are doing it, and I told you. I want to ask whether you have intentions to restore the posts of police spokesman or spokesperson. That's number one. Number two is what strategies do you have to reduce the road carnage? I know it's not only you have NTSA to work with, but I would like you to answer the question also on corruption on roads. And whether, which we have also mentioned, whether you are also going to leverage on technology to reduce road carnage. Thank you.
Mr. Kanja, you can respond to those ones. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, co-chairs. Thank you, members. Maybe I start with the last one from Honorable Francis Sigei.
Kindly go directly to to respond to the questions.
Yes. So about the road carnage, if approved and appointed IG, I'm going to work with all the stakeholders. We're also going to deploy technology, actually, as I did indicate there before, cameras and everything else that can be able to alert us that some vehicles are overspeeding and so forth, and then they can be intercepted somewhere. Corruption on the roads. I did earlier indicate that the measures that we have put in place, actually, by first of all.
Which cameras will you be using? Which cameras specifically?
The kind of cameras I'm thinking of are those, you know,
our CCTV cameras in our highways.
Exactly.
Okay, anyway, we will come to that. There's a question from the public,
right,
specifically on that matter.
So
they say they're all blind. They're not functional.
Okay.
We'll just go on.
So on matters corruption on our roads, as I indicated there before, corruption is a problem. And number two, what have we done about it? We have reverted our traffic department back to the commandant traffic, and then we have all the structures in place. We are continuing, and we have been actually been very serious training officers who can actually be able to radar. And the kind of training that we are putting them through is also educating them on why corruption is a very serious disease in this country, and why they don't need to get engaged in that one. And many other measures are actually in place to ensure that what we are talking about is actually fully implemented, because this is an area that I'm also passionate about. On the press conferences, thank you very much, Honorable Sigei. I know communication is important. I know communication is power. And that's the reason why, even when I was appointed the acting IG, I went straight to communication, to communicate with the people, to talk to the people, to speak to the people, actually, so that they can actually be able to get the position. Remember, what was happening there before is that some people had been killed down there in Kithurai. There was mass massacre, I don't know, murders. But the truth of the matter is that nobody had actually been killed in Kithurai. That is the correct position. But now, without communicating to the people, then, you know, once repeated several times, it looks like that is the correct position, which is actually not really the correct position. Nobody had actually been killed in Githurai. So the reason why, if I'm approved the IG, I mean approved and appointed IG, I'm going to leverage very much on that area of communication. We are going to come up with, you know, good teams that can keep on communicating with the Kenyan people, telling them the correct position, because there's nothing to be hidden. And that way, we can now be able to have even flow of information, because the people have got a lot of information that can be able to assist the police to enhance the policing capability. And mine, I would like, working with the people. And I know even one of the functions is to ensure that the IG works closely with the communities, and brings the organization and the communities together. One way is through communication. One, letting the people getting to know exactly what's happening. So communication will be an area that I would be actually very much interested. We will ensure that we get a very good communication team, and I know they are there to assist us to reach the people out there. The other one that probably I would like to mention very, very quickly is what has been asked by Honorable Hussein. Police housing. Yes, this is a problem that has been there for quite some time, but I'm happy with the measures that the government is putting in place. And even in the Maraga report, that was, flagged out as a major area that needs to be addressed very, very quickly, because it's an area that affects the welfare of the officers, where the officers chairs houses, a group of officers chairing one house. It is not right. It is not right. And the direction that we need to go is to continue investing in that direction, to ensure that our officers who are stationed in various stations that we have throughout the Republic are housed within their station areas in accommodation that actually befits them. So, to me, that is an area that I would be very much interested to work very, very closely with others, so that we can be able to see that we achieve. And we are happy that to note that our government is actually very, very, interested in that direction. About the mobile roadblocks, yes, I mean about the roadblocks. The advice of the Maraga report is that we need to have mobile roadblocks. I also advocate for those roadblocks that are laid as and when required. We don't want permanent roadblocks to be laid, there throughout. No. We want roadblocks that are laid as and when they are required. That is the kind of roadblocks that we want. Yes, mobile teams on our roads is good because it's a good deterrence. But roadblocks, then that is the direction that personally I would like to take. On the matters of gazetted police posts which have not yet been operationalized, that is an area that is also very, very urgent, and we need to move quickly. But the issue is anchored on funding. And I hope that going forward we are going to get adequate funds, and that way we can be able to operationalize whatever is remaining, including transport. Transport has also been a major issue. A good number of police stations don't have any form of transport, but the government is actually addressing that one. Previously have been assured, and we are working in that direction, and I know very soon stations will be having adequate transport, which will also be good to enable the officers discharge their duties as required by our laws. Yes, the operations, as the honorable member has mentioned, the operations should be intelligence-led. Very true. Intelligence-led operation is what the police service requires. We don't just want to move everywhere. We want to go there because there is a need to do that. And this one can only be achieved through intelligence. We are working very, very closely with all the other stakeholders, including the NIS, in the provision of these kind of intelligences, such that we don't disturb everybody. We just go to where criminals are and deal with them as that. Thank you, Chair. No, there is also the question that had been asked by Mheshimiwa Lisa Chief colleague. Mheshimiwa, vile umeuliza swali ya maana sana. Mimi binafsi I'm a major supporter ya gender. Ukiangalia wakati nimekuwa Deputy Inspector General of Police kule Police Headquarters Vigilance, right now tuko na maofficers wengi ambao they are divisional commanders in Nairobi here, ambao ni maofficers ya kike, na nataka kusema hivi, hao maofficers wamefanya kazi mzuri and we are proud of them, and we will continue to integrate the genders in the policing services, because by so doing tutakuwa tunaona ya kwamba society yetu itakuwa much better. On the issues of GBV, police stations, right now we have got gender desks kwa stations zetu mingi, lakini bado tunahitaji kuongeza the investment in them ndio ziweze kuendelea kufanya hiyo kazi yao na wafanye vizuri, ndio hii mambo inakuwa inashughulikiwa vilivyo. Lakini hata hivyo sio kusema ya kwamba polisi hawashughulikii. Sisi tunashughulikia kadri ya uwezo wetu, na kama vile nilisema maneno ya corruption, these are other issues that also needs to have discussions at that level, where we need to have families discussing these issues. We need to have communities discussing these issues, because it is not right kwa mtu yoyote kutoa uhai ya ule mwingine. Hiyo si haki, hiyo si haki hata kidogo. Kwa hivyo mimi kama nitapewa nafasi ya kuwa Inspector General wa polisi, hiyo ni kitego moja, ni area moja ambao I will have a lot of interest in it, na tutaiangalia vilivyo kuona ya kwamba police stations zote zetu zimekuwa na hiyo. Kumbuka nilisema ya kwamba kwa maono yangu, I want our police stations to be the center of excellences of police operations, including addressing matters affecting gender and gender-based violence. Asante. Kuna swali ya, there is a question from Mheshimiwa Boru. It's about community policing. I'm just going to be very brief on that one. That community policing is a key pillar in policing, because that is how the IG can actually be able to reach the communities out there. So we need to enhance the ability of the community policing. And we will even be moving further than that to ensure that the county policing authorities also come into being, so that now we can be able to enhance security and the policing capability by incorporating everybody, even at the county level.
But at that one, Nominee IG, when you mention about the county policing authority, you know, of course, it's a subject in court, very controversial one. One issue being security being not a devolved function.
Okay.
As drafted, as proposed, that will have left the county governors and actually CCs and councillors, MCS,
Okay.
to run security of a country. Do you think that will have been actually anchored well, taking into consideration our dynamics, the dynamics of our country?
Let me say this, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Maybe my take on that is that I would look at it as an enhanced way of how community policing is undertaken within our wards, within our locations and so forth. But I don't trust situation whereby the powers of policing are usurped somewhere else. That one will not
Drafted, as it is drafted, the security actually will be more delegated to the MCS, to the CCs, to the governor. Anyway, it's an issue that, of course, it is contentious, and maybe it can be relooked.
Chair, let
The
me
whole
say-
idea is
let-
good, but
let-
maybe how it's drafted.
Let me say something on that.
Yeah.
There are areas where we also have to intervene as a house because they implement the law as it is. I think the drafting was not very good. And I think we are picking from him how we would prefer to apply that law. But I think me and you and these members in the House must have to look at even the issue of the conflict between the IG and the Commission are still also legal issues which we need as a House. So there are areas where we can also help. And I think as the chair, my co-chair says, it is a very, in my committee, for example, of Senate, we've had a lot of legal opinion. And we even actually called the CS to appear. So I agree with you. The national function of security cannot be handed over to the villages. But I think something about community policing is critical to Nyumba Kumi and maneno yote. So I think
What, I don't know, but this is something that if I'm approved and appointed the IG, this is an area that I would be very much interested in looking into because I know the capability, how it can be able to enhance the ability of the police actually on matters crime. I would like to understand why is it that it's only 6 cameras that are working, not all of them are working. So that is an area that I want to assure this committee that I would like to move with the speed if I happen to be appointed and address it.
How many are working?
I had you mention around 6.
6.
That's what I heard from you.
No. It was an allegation
Oh, it was an
from the
allegation,
public.
Okay.
But you can confirm,
But
because the whole thing is the IC3, IC3, which you know it is in Jogo.
Yes.
Of course, I know the issue of the partnership with the Safaricom Huawei could have expired. But I think the member wanted to know what the plans do you have.
Yes, my plan, as I've said there before, is that if I happen to be approved and appointed, this is an area that I would be very much interested in because I know we can be able to get a lot of support and assistance through that additional third eye in terms of policing. The issue of the dismissed of 1,000 officers. If I am approved and appointed the IG, I will also become the commissioner, a commissioner of the commission, of the National Police Service Commission, together with the other DIGs. And the Joint Service Board would be very much interested in pushing this agenda because we would like it to be concluded. If an officer is supposed to be returned back to the service, well and good. For those then who will continue with the dismissal, then so be it, so that that issue is sorted out once and for all. So again, it's also an area that I would also be very much interested so that the officers, the issues can be actually be sorted out. About the police service canteens, the management of the canteens is actually in three ways. We can manage the police canteens through contracts. We can manage the police canteens through committees.
The question was from him, where does the money goes? Because it's never declared as A in S.
The money?
He alleges that it goes into the pocket of the few.
No, I don't think so, because it's welfare money. So it's accounted through that system. So it cannot go to pockets of a few people.
I think, Chair, if I were the nominee, I would have agreed that maybe there would be issues or misuse. Don't dismiss that welfare issue, so that because that's been raised by the public, I propose that you take action.
Yes.
When you take over.
Thank you very much. It's an area of interest actually that I would be interested in. Then there is the question by Honorable Mheshimiwa Karuma about the 70 Kenyans who were killed during the demonstrations, 40 during the recent demonstrations, and several bodies recovered. As I indicated from the word go, we said that every police excess is subject to inquiry. Do you have the oversight bodies, including the IPOA, including the ODPP, and the rest? I know a number of cases are already ongoing, and that way, Mheshimiwa Karuma, this is an area that is actually being addressed. At the person, I would like it to be addressed to the logical conclusion, actually. On the matters of the academics, remember I had a Division 2, and then I went to the A levels. Then I joined the service. Later on, after the former President Kibaki came in, he opened the opportunities for education. And many officers have actually gotten those opportunities and moved forward, whereby started by acquiring certificates, you go for diploma, and then from there now you can be able to move to the degree level. That is how we went in that direction. Thank you, Chair.
Lastly, and very last, Kenyans and these members want to know your worth. You know, of course, we go into a big office with a big budget, and that is where at times some people enrich themselves instead of serving the public. What's your worth, and you can?
Thank you, co-chairs, and thank you, members. My worth now is around 46 million Kenya shillings.
46. Come again?
46. 46.
46, not yes. 460. 46.
46, not 46.
Okay, made up of what and what?
Yeah, it's actually in rand. It's in rand. I have got.
So you can just mention it, so
yeah,
that.
It's actually in rand. I'm a farmer. I have agricultural activities. I have a house here in Nairobi. I have a home down there in my rural home. Then that's it. And of course, I have the salaries that I earn. Yes.
As we come to a close, members, because we have to adjourn.
Chair, is it possible to find out where the house is? 46 million. There's a problem here.
I know that's not adding up.
It doesn't add up because where is the house? Where does he live? Because
where is the house, as the prof?
Oh, my house is okay. My house is at Committee Corner there.
An apartment, a standalone, a townhouse?
No, it's actually a standalone.
So 2 houses put together must be way above this.
Honorable Chair, not everybody has houses the level and punishment of Professor Jendas.
Okay, anyway, let's. That is what is on record. Now, kindly, let's, members, we need to adjourn to, I don't know, because I would like we have the nominee to say his last remarks.
The co-chairs and the honorable members, let me take this opportunity to once again sincerely thank you. Because of coming forward and sharing this very, very important assignment. As I have indicated there before, I have been in this service for the last 39 years. I have set my foot in every village in this great republic of ours in the span of those years. I'm an experienced officer, highly experienced officer, actually exposed in many, many, many areas. Remember, as he did indicate, I've worked in Iboni. I have saved Kenyans when there were a lot of trouble. I was here in Dusit when there was serious trouble. I did it. I'm ready to do it again, to come to the defense of our republic, if called upon to do that. And if I am approved by the appointed, I want to assure the Kenyan people that you'll be getting a highly experienced Inspector General, a person who will be in charge of your security. And I want to assure you that that is exactly what I intend to ensure that you have security, to enable you do what you are supposed to do from morning to evening and from evening to the next morning. Thank you, Chair.
So you are confirming, you are telling Kenyans that if these members confirm you, they will have a good deal.
Exactly.
Chair, will he uphold the Constitution?
Yes. Let me confirm this, Chair, and honorable members. I'm a stricter to the Constitution. I will operate, the officers will operate within the frameworks and the confines of our Constitution. That is something that I want to undertake and I want to promise the honorable chairs, the honorable committee, and the people of Kenya. Thank you.
If confirmed, you'll be a team player. It's very critical.
I will be a team
very, very critical.
I will be a team player.
So with me, I want also to, on behalf of our colleagues, wish you the best of luck. We will have an opportunity to retreat and reflect on what we heard from you, go through your testimonials, and wish you all the best. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Co-Chair. For close to 4 hours now, we followed you. My worry, Bwana Kanja, is when the former IG appeared before us, he gave us a lot of hope. Actually, as Senator Baringo, I felt things will change. And I believe also Kenyans were very hopeful, and our members here. I want to plead with you. If you are approved, these very clear, express confidence, assurances in vetting time, and thereafter, the person we saw and listened to could not even visit the battleground. I want you to live to your expressions. I have listened to you, and my plea again is give morale to your members. Baringo was in fire. I have to say this. Baringo was in fire, and not only Baringo, 7 counties in the country of almost 9 million Kenyans.